What's up guys? You're watching Poot's Garage. This week we got a whole bunch of different stuff going on, so let's get to it. We are back, baby. We're at it again. So you probably noticed I haven't been putting out a lot of videos. I've been on a kind of a hiatus. Is that a word? I don't know. That's what we're doing. But we're thawing out and we're breaking out of the shell that we got stuck in and we are moving on. So pretty much once winter hit, I was burned out from working on that square body, and I kind of had a hard time getting motivated when everything was so cold and just whatever. Well, it's still cold. But the biggest change was I changed my work schedule at my day job. So now I'm a day shifter, which is awesome. Now I'm just like rearranging all of my life schedules and we're getting everything going again, and I'm really excited because I'm starting to pick away at these little projects here and there, and we're getting into it again. Now if you didn't catch the last video where I fabricated and mounted up these aux beam lights, these things are pretty cool and that mount came out pretty good. I like it. So check out the last video. Ooh, she looks good sitting there. So one of my biggest complaints on this Jeep, it's more styling than anything right now, since I don't use this thing hard off-road and I don't really plan to. It's gonna be more of just a cruiser and a exploration type rig out in the desert. But the front bumper on these stock ones just so I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but this giant plastic bumper just bugs me. To me it's ugly. It just looks like a giant lower lip hanging out. It's just, I don't like it at all. Not to mention it's plastic, and that plastic's really not going to do you anything ever. So I bought something to replace it with. Whew, this thing is heavy. Can we just admire the weather we're having right now? Holy crap. So we ended up buying a Quadratec bumper for this 2024 Jeep JL Wrangler. Now these Quadratec units, for being the cheaper ones, they are really good. This thing is super heavy duty. Let me show you the back side of it. And here we go. I forget what the thicknesses of metal are on this thing, but like all these main plates, what is that, like 3/16 probably? It's super heavy. And you get into like the winch mount, that's even thicker. And everything is fully welded or bent, so it's like more of a solid piece. I mean, this thing is made right. The only thing is the weight. It's very heavy. But as you can see, we have a winch mount. We have the mounts for the factory fog lights, which is really cool. And then we have light mounts, lights to hang below, or you can do lights on top. And I know people like to comment on the weight of this thing because it is so heavy duty. So I just want to weigh it real quick. I think I know what it weighs, but I just want to verify. Oh. Oh yeah, I'm drawing about 94 pounds. That's a huge bit. And you can see we have some super thick, heavy duty mounts for D-rings. A little bit of ventilation holes. Don't know if those are for a purpose or not. Maybe for the winch. I don't know. Now the number one thing I like about this bumper is the style. Because I hate new bumpers and the styling they're putting on them. They make them like a smile shape, where they always come up on the ends. And I just don't like that. I like straight, clean, plain, and then just a nice simple hoop, you know? That's all I needed. Even if this didn't come with the hoop, I'd be happy with it. But I think this is gonna be one of the cleanest bumpers you can put on these Jeeps without some of the really expensive options that actually do look good. And the other styling aspect that I don't like on these bumpers is how low they are. They are very tall bumpers. So you can see we do have a lot below where we actually need to be. But they are doing that for a purpose, and maybe later I can modify it if I end up modifying more things on this and I want to cut the bottom of that bumper off. It's not that big of a deal to do. Should have gave you this angle before. But there's this huge plastic piece that goes way down low. I mean, it's covering a bunch of stuff under there. So let's see what's behind it. Kind of looking at it from the side here. This is that extra plastic piece coming way down. And there is some stuff that is back here that they're trying to protect a little bit. So there is these like frame pieces that come way down. I think a majority of what this is more for like crash testing to keep cars cars from going underneath the front of this thing. So I think those do get trimmed off occasionally. And then the other thing is that big unit right in the middle of the screen there. That's the sway bar disconnect. It's kind of a big module. It's an aluminum housing. So you do want to kind of protect that a little bit. She looks pretty good at this angle, huh? All right, we got to block out some of this light because it is just way too bright for this camera. That kind of helps, not a whole lot. Okay, that's a little better. At least we can see now. You know, I love these glass panels on these garage doors. They look so cool, and even being in here, having all the light, it's really nice, but it is hell when trying to film stuff. So you probably noticed I got some gas cans mounted up on the side of this Jeep too. It was a little mod I did, it was last weekend, I threw them on. I wasn't gonna make a video about it, it's real simple. You can find these mounts on, it's an Amazon branded type unit. You can find those there, and it's real nice though. It clamps to the top rain gutter, and it kind of just goes up underneath the hard top there. Bolts in, super easy. I did have a few screws that worked themselves loose, not ones that I had put on, so kind of like the factory installed screws that work themselves loose. So if you do go get one of these, make sure you kind of tighten things up. But on that, I mounted these really nice Rotopax fuel cans. These are pretty nice units. They're very expensive though, so I'm still on the fence whether it's worth as much as they cost. And we also bought their locking mounts here so nobody can steal them. And I don't know if it's per design or not, but I mounted them with the necks pointing each other, so I don't think you really can't get in there if you wanted to. You might be able to wiggle the top out, but it's gonna make it difficult if somebody wants to like siphon or mess with things. And then the only other thing about these is this is actually designed for the 4-door, which has a smaller back window. So you end up with a gap here, which it's not the worst thing in the world because I can still look over my shoulder and look at my blind spot through here. Not a whole lot, but it's better than nothing. Like I would like to put one on the other side just to match, maybe not put fuel cans on that side, put something else, but I'd like to be able to look out that window when you're switching lanes and different things, so we'll probably keep that window open. But they don't look that bad. I do want to mention, I didn't just throw these on for the heck of it. When I'm driving this thing, for some reason, I get some like fuel range anxiety with this thing. Like on its best day, you're getting 300 miles out of a tank. They have a really small fuel tank on them, like, was it 16 gallons or something on a 2-door. 4-door, you get a little bit bigger tank. But these 2-doors have such a small tank that it, I don't know, it kind of gives you anxiety, especially on the long trips. And I do take a lot of long trips, and cutting through like the middle of Oregon, there's not a whole lot of fuel stops and stuff, so you really have to plan your fuel stops. And there's a few times it's like, if that gas station is closed, or it's not working, the pump doesn't work, or something is wrong, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to the next station. So just for my peace of mind, I wanted extra fuel capacity just in case. So we threw these on. These are 2 gallons each, so 4 gallons total. On the best day, it should give me an extra 80 miles or so. It is nice to have, you know, even when you're just out exploring, just in case, you know, if you get stuck and you end up being out in the wilderness for an extended period of time and you got to stay warm or something, you got some extra gas. And I might even get some extra mounts and maybe throw them on that square body somewhere, like inside the bed. And then if I take the square body out, I can just grab these and throw them in that, you know. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. So let's start getting this stock bumper off, huh? All right, you can see what they're trying to protect here. That's that big sway bar disconnect. Pretty complex little thing up there. So yeah, gotta kind of protect it. That's really light. Let's see the weight differences. All right, we gotta weigh this thing because I want to see how much weight we're actually adding. If I do this so I can still read it. Can't forget all this gobbledygook. We got 40 pounds. With that new bumper, we're adding an extra 55 pounds to this vehicle. It's not horrible. All right, before we throw this new bumper on, I actually have to swap over the fog lights and different things, but I've got some old footage that I want to throw in here. Some kind of interesting things that have happened over, you know, I filmed it over the last couple months and I just didn't obviously have a video to throw it in. So before I forget, let's throw that in there. Check this out. What's up, guys? It's like December 15th right now and we had some crazy stuff going on lately. So we had a really big snowstorm that actually came through and kind of almost crippled the Reno area. You know, it was a lot of snow we're not used to getting that much. I think I had around 12 to 14 inches there overnight. So that causes a lot of big troubles around here. Oh, look at that lighting off the floor. So unfortunately, I had some damage out here at the house, so I gotta try and take care of that. And this is that. My gazebo collapsed. It could not handle the snow. I already came through and cut it, trying to get the snow to fall out and whatnot, but yeah, it's a bit of a mess. See how much of a mess this thing is now. It completely collapsed. It's just the top part, right? Just the piece that goes up. All these sides and the uprights seem good. So yeah, I got some decisions to make. So I gotta figure out, am I going to rebuild it? I'm gonna try and straighten it back out as best I can. There's a lot of broken welds and folded metal, so I'm gonna try and repair it. I think, unless I can just find replacement parts. If I can find just the replacement top part, excellent, I'll just buy that. But I'm not ready to, you know, give up the whole thing yet, especially since about a year ago, I actually bought a new cover for it because it was already torn in pretty bad shape. I bought a new cover and I spent, I think it was over $100 for that thing. So it'd be nice to save this thing if I can. And here's a little update on that gazebo thing. So I did order 3 parts because that's all I could find online. Had to go to some really suspicious websites just to get these. So now that I have some part numbers, I'm gonna search those part numbers and see if I can actually find them on better websites and maybe a little cheaper. Now back to present time. And this is the update on this deal. So all the uprights are good. These crossbars are good. Just today I removed all the top pieces. So I got those sitting over here on the trailer. You can see this thing is completely turned inside out. This is supposed to be the top and it's supposed to go like that. So yeah, it's all out of whack. So I got a little bit of a project on that to replace some more of the pieces that are damaged or bent. A few of them I'm gonna try and salvage. That'll save me a few bucks, but hopefully we can do it without costing too much money. Run away! I had a little incident today. I was buying kitty litter at the grocery store today, and I threw my back out. Ugh. So basically I was transferring this bucket of kitty litter from the top of my shopping cart to the bottom of my shopping cart, and my back went twing, and it was game over. I'm done. Oh, jeez. So now I've been the hunchback of Poot's Garage all night. And as for my back, it's all back to normal. We're good to go again. That was just kind of a rough week or two I had there. That kind of sucked. But anyways, let's get back to this thing. But I do need to be careful of the way I lift. And they always say lift with your back, not your knees. That's right. So next I gotta kind of pull some stuff apart. I gotta remove the fog lights out of this thing, plus the wiring that's going through connecting the fog lights, and then transfer all that to the new bumper. So this is all that's left of a stock bumper that's actually worth any, no, it's not worth anything, but it actually has any kind of function. And this is all the metal that's in there. I mean, this is nothing, it's just sheet metal. It's got these weird cans, that's probably like crumple zone or a little crush there, but that is it. That's all a front bumper really has for any structure. All that plastic I just yeeted out the door, that's it's not doing you anything. These tow hook brackets are kind of cool though. These are the factory like Rubicon style. Well, I guess any of them probably have this, but they're red for Rubicon. But these are pretty beefy. Might even be able to use those on something else. That's kind of neat. Yeah. Quick, fast jerking motions with your back really gets it going. There are a few differences between like a sport model Wrangler and the, I guess, Rubicon and Sahara. They have a little bit different fog lamp. I don't know if that's the LED upgrade or whatever, but they do come with like an adapter that I have to use. But the instructions are all super clear and it comes with all the hardware. It's working out pretty good. We got these lights back in. These were an absolute pain in the butt. The fasteners they give you are an absolute nightmare to work with. They're just too small. Unnecessarily small, plus they want you to use a little tiny Allen head. You can see they're just little tiny Allen bolts, which is not necessary because the holes are bigger. You put anything in there. So you can see these ones were already hard. I'm trying to get these to thread into the pre-threaded holes. This one came in, I got it. It was all right. It was kind of tight, but you know, you had to work it through the threads, and threads are probably full of this powder coat. This side I could not get those in. They got too tight. And I mean, the threads are straight, the screws are straight. So if there's an issue with them tapping it or what, I don't know. I ended up throwing a couple of the stock screws in. I think they're designed more for like a speed nut, but they worked great. They got tight, so that's the way to go for these. You just grab a couple of these guys here and they go right in there, no problem, and they tighten down. I'm gonna leave those ones in there for now since they're already in, but I would have put those in there too. So this thing is ready to go on. My back is not ready because now I'm been hunched over for so long, I'm hurting. And I don't think I showed what it looks like with everything off, but yeah, that's it. That's a naked front end on a 2024 Jeep right there. Got all sorts of stuff going on. That's that big sway bar disconnect unit. Yeah, and yeah, we're ready to put this thing back together. While I take a break here, before I forget, we got to get to the map. So I need everybody here that's watching to comment where you're watching from, and I'll put a red pin on the map. I got a handful to do. Let's get through it real quick. First up this week is Crown Point, Indiana, land of the Four Seasons. Then Elko, Nevada, Casa Grande, Arizona, Gilbert, Arizona, Simi Valley, California, Fort Lupton, Colorado, Manchester, Kentucky, downtown Salt Lake City, Utah, Simi Valley, California again, Heidelberg, Germany, Belen, New Mexico, Homestead, Florida, Fairfield, Connecticut, McHenry, Illinois, Heartland, Wisconsin, Bossier City, Louisiana, Reno, Nevada, Clarksville, Tennessee, and last is Yucca Valley, California. to check, make sure it works. Success. And we got everything cleaned up, and this project is done. That looks much better than the stock one does. Now obviously we got to do a winch still. I got to get some D-rings on there. Maybe we'll do some lights someday. So it's not completely done yet, but it's a step in the right direction. I think it looks pretty good. Much better than stock. I got to swap the vehicles again because this stays outside and the Chevy needs to come back in before it gets dark. Alright, we got that done. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have anything else to put on this video here in the next week or so before it comes out. So if not, then I will talk to you guys later.